Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at the greatest Protoss player outside of Korea, and that includes all the Chinese players. It is Dewalt in the top right, and he'll be going up against Royal in the bottom right. So first off, I do want to talk about Royal for a second, because we went through this period where Royal wasn't playing that well. He had kind of a rough ASL. He was kind of failing. You know, he had won a championship a few years ago, but like, he just wasn't looking to that level. Recently, Royal has moved up in my stock for him, my value for him, dramatically. And just to be clear, Royal plays a style I don't even particularly like. I've been at times a little bit critical about him trying to stick to older styles of pure optimizations and stuff. But honestly, I think that he's in very good shape right now. I think he's one of the strongest Terrans in the world right now. I think I'd put him like easily top 4 as far as Terran players go. And the Terran line is relatively deep, right? Like if you were to ask, it's like, well, obviously Flash is the best, but do we count him because he's not really playing tournaments? Whatever. But then it's like Rush is really, really top tier right now. Light is always up there. People will talk about Barracks. I think Royal's better than Barracks right now, for sure. I think he's better than JYJ. I think he is actually still stronger than Scan, although Scan's still really coming up. I think he's stronger than Sharp right now. I think he's stronger than Speed right now. I place Royal very high. And obviously he has games still where you're like, oops, you got caught. You know, maybe you're being too greedy or whatever. But anyways, Royal, very, very good at the moment. And then, of course, we have Dewalt. Really like this guy. Very, very strong Protoss. Still practicing hard. And, yeah, I actually just recently played him in a show match. He did definitely end up pounding me, but we had some very good games. He won 5-1 at the end of the day, but some competitive games in there. And really, I feel like I played well, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, so thanks to him for that. And he makes a lot of YouTube content and streams on YouTube as well. So you guys might want to check him out. Great guy and really, really strong, guys. Like, he's an incredibly good player. And always improving. So excited to see what he's going to be able to do here against Royal. I think it could be a good match. Obviously, Royal's going to be favored, you know. But, like, I think especially in PvT, Dewalt can make some upsets for sure. So, we're on Polestar. Okay, and it looks like we're going to have a very, very, very fast Nexus. That's pre-Goon Nexus. So that's actually kind of an interesting build. I don't see that too often. Every now and then I'll run into this and be like, oh, that's a little bit weird. Now, Royal happens to be box scouting here. So he is, instead of doing the end scout where you go here and then to the top right, if he had done that, there's a possibility of doing an SCV Marine Vulture pull. But because he scouted in a square, in a box as I call it, he isn't able to do that. Like, that's going to mess with his timings. This is actually a very interesting build from him as well. This is highly, highly optimized, where he started his command center without... Like, normally what happens is you already have 3 Marines, you start the Vulture, and then you go command center. He went command center and then got, like, the 3rd Marine and the Vulture started. So he actually... Basically, what we saw from him is exactly what we saw from Dewalt, but the Terran version of it. That's fascinating. That they both did this in the same game. These are not common moves that we saw on either side. I'm actually getting some light chills from that. Not the super heavy chills. I got my right knee has a little bit of chill. My right side has a little bit of chill. A little tiny bit on my left leg. But, like, that's interesting. I'm fine. I'm really thinking deeply about it, right? Because, like, I understand the Protoss aspect of it pretty well, where it's like, yeah, this is something good to mix in, where, like, you're still pretty safe against everything, and, you know, you can make some adjustments and whatever. The Protoss side, the Terran side, rather, where he's doing the box scout and delaying his units a little bit to get the command center quicker, that's really uncommon. It's kind of neat. But it's almost... It's just like another shade above gasless expansion, right? It's not that. So there's there's Command Center first, then there's 1 depot gasless expansion, then there's 2 depot gasless expansion, and then there's gas 1 SCV mining expansion without factory. And this would be the next level above that, where it's like, yes, you made the factory, but you're not making units because nothing's come to your base, and you just make the command center faster, and then the units come out. I'm sorry. I know you guys allow me to humor myself by diving way too deep occasionally in these things. I'm as I say it, I'm like, I'm sure some of you will be like, yeah, no, that is kind of interesting, but like, yeah. I know I'm going a little bit too deep there, so I'll get back on track with the game. Anyways, that was cool, and I'm really, really thinking about it heavily. Okay, so really nice spread of mines. Also, this is something I casted a game Snow against somebody on Fighting Spirit. If anyone can give me the name of who this was so I can find it on my own channel, I love you forever. But where it was 1 factory, mines, speed with armory. And Snow ended up killing him, but it was such a cool build. It was one of these like amateur Terrans, like a Noel or an Icarus or someone like that. I can't remember, though. I was looking for it the other day because I've started to actually utilize this build. I think it was ahead of its time. This was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago that this Terran did this against Snow. And it didn't quite work out, but the metagame is really right for it. I've been using this a lot. It's really good. And I've seen it, I think, 1 time from a pro recently. And I was like, look, it's that build. It's that build. And here it is again from Royal. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I am nerding out about the intricacies that we're looking at here. Because, okay, so you might look at that and say, well, what? Like, we see factory armory all the time for Royal. Yeah, we do. But the difference is he went speed very quickly. So he's got the 4 vultures out. And then having speed just gives you a lot more options and keeps Protoss on the back foot a little bit. Because if the speed vultures get into your base, you're screwed. So Dewalt has to be really careful. He has to zone right with goons. He has to clear areas methodically. He has to leave some back. He doesn't know if there's dropship. Well, now he does, but he didn't before. Right? Well, the thing is, there still could technically be a hidden dropship, but whatever. He has to make sure this is clogged up. All those things, right? The early speed is one of those things like the Academy. It's like a Terran greed in a way. It's like, to be purely safe, it's better to skip speed and spend the money on something else. But being safe doesn't win you games generally. It stops you from losing games. Speed can win you games. Anyways, sorry, this is the most tangents I may have ever gone on in a cast. Okay. So he's going up to 7 factory. I'm like going Super Saiyan right now. He's going 7 factory, guys. So the way that these are placed, I think he did this purposefully to make this look like something it's not, because he knows where the observer is my guess. But maybe this is just random where the factories got laid down, just threw them down wherever. That's a possibility as well. But 7 factory with no starport. We've seen this a couple of times lately. Dewalt has to go up to, like, realistically 8 gates minimum. He might want 9 or 10 gates. Right now he's clearing the map. Okay, so there's 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, with Reavers. Solid play from Dewalt. He gets his legs started. It's a little bit late legs, but I think it's actually correct because he got his gateways up. It's like a powering move. A forge on the way, a single forge. And this is exactly the type of game I was talking about with a scan game and a Noel game lately, like in the last 2 weeks or so. I was talking about how this type of position arises oftentimes, which is why I think random dropships are going to be strong. Like, notice how he has absolutely no anti-drop anywhere because he's just optimizing for actual gateway units to stop an actual push. Like, everyone has slowed down cannons in their mineral lines, basically. Okay. So we got 3 add-ons on 2 base, which is, again, insane. Never see this. This is an all-in push coming out of Royal. Will Dewalt be able to hold this? He's set up really well. He's got this group, so you can't enter here, and then he's got the 2 Reavers. I'm surprised where the Reavers are. I thought he would put them, like, closer to there. So I'm interested in this. Like, maybe that's he wants the vultures committing up where they really can't see or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, so Royal's going to walk to the left. This is definitely right. You'd rather attack into this than the Reavers. And he's actually going to... Oh, my God. He's boxing in the goons. What a beautiful move. He just brought the vultures around for a mechanic hug. Okay, good targeting there. Picks off both observers. Really nice. Lays some mines on the side. Yeah. Holy crap. He's on 55 SCVs, too. It's a serious amount of SCVs for a 2-base. Is he going to make a command center? I'm going to freak out if he makes a command center. My wife's going to come down and check if everything's okay. This is so different. Okay, he's bringing up these Goliaths. Targeting that shuttle. Really need to get that shuttle if you can. Okay, gets the shuttle. Dewalt takes a good beginning of the engagement. He stayed just a little bit too long there. Lost 4 more goons than he should have. That was just a little tiny bit too long. If you'd pulled back a little bit quicker, better position. All right, more Zealots coming up from the side. Oh my God, these Zealots getting on top of those siege tanks. He's going to clear it. What quality play. What quality play from Dewalt. Chills. And he made a 3rd CC. It's an insane game. Nothing makes sense. Okay. Again, I need to super stress that Dewalt dealt with this incredibly well. He played this incredibly well. Maybe one micro mistake here. Maybe his goons were too far forward and the vulture hug kind of hurt him more than it should have. I'm not entirely sure about that. Maybe his dragoons should have been like here instead of here. That type of thing to block off that, right? Like that, those things kind of make sense. So yeah, there's definitely even here still ways that Dewalt could continue to improve. Pulling the goons back just slightly quicker over here. Any of those things could have been good. But so far he's dealt with this all very well. Pro level. 100% pro level dealing with the push. Like, that was a scary-ass push. That was so many siege tanks and everything. Really well done from Royal. Okay. Okay. Whew. Now, Dewalt's macroing up really well. Now, here's the thing. Royal started this 3rd base, which I was going to freak out about, but there was too many other things to freak out about. But the fact that he starts the 3rd command center, and remember I mentioned that he had like 55 SCVs. I'm like, that's a lot of SCVs for a 2-base all-in. Because when you make that many, it's not really that much of an all-in, right? Like, obviously, it's going to slow the push a little bit to have that many. But, like, that's the amount where you can make a 3rd base and then pop up into the 60s of SCVs, and you're basically good. So, even though he lost his push, and Dewalt is definitely ahead here. No question, Dewalt's ahead. This is a playable position. Royal, he doesn't have a ton going on, but it's not terrible either. He's making a dropship. Okay, cool. He's got science facility. Great. Getting more upgrades. So he's going to 2-1 right now. Already has 1-1. Skipping 2nd armory for now. I actually really like that. A good thing to cut because he's not in that great of a position. And look at this. He's setting up a ridiculous minefield here and expanding here. So what he's doing is, like, this is basically, his rally is somewhere in here. I guess it's right there. What was that? Okay. And so this area is always pretty well defended. And then he's super mega giga defending right here. So if Dewalt wants to attack his 4th base, he actually has to come down like this and over, which that's going to be the easiest area for Royal to quickly bring units here, whereas Dewalt has to bring units from here around to here and then up. So the formation of Royal here is superb. Superb. Now, in the meantime, look at... I'm sorry I'm so zoomed out. I know if you're watching on a cell phone, this sucks. Which is crazy. I watch StarCraft on my cell phone, so I'm feeling you, but I need to explain these bigger concepts for a minute. Right, so he's doing a vulture drop. We talked about this a minute ago, how this type of move is going to gain popularity again because people are not making their defensive cans. He starts them after the drop comes up. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got his 5th Nexus. He made that after the 3rd base got up. 4th base comes up. He's got a double expand over here. We're getting into a crazy game. God, I'm loving this. Pretty good as far as anti-air, not perfect. He's got 1 shuttle here with Reavers. Dewalt moving around. I'm a little bit nervous for Dewalt. Does he have Psystorm? Okay, he has 2 High Templars in here. So yeah, I guess he must have Psystorm. But not a lot of High Templars. Oh, there's one. Not a ton. And that's going to make it hard to stop this, because this is 186 supply on 59 probes. So this is basically max Terran. So max Terran push coming out. Little Reaver counter drop. Royal stops this super fast. And can just focus on this push. Dewalt needs to pull back against this. He has no... I don't think he has any real chance of breaking this. He has to get really good Psy Storms to have any chance. Yeah. Oh, he's going to go. What? Okay, well... The High Templar did the Mind Drag, not the Zealot. He didn't get the Psy Storms off, but he did way more damage with the Mind Drags than Psy Storms would have dealt there. That's crazy. That is not something you see every day. Oh my god. I can't believe how many tanks died to a High Templar without Psy Storm. Okay, the tanks come up. Now, unfortunately, he moved these too far forward. Those should have been kept back here. The Zealots coming in are getting right on top of them. Royals still with a lot of potential with this attack. Dewalt actually has a reasonably large bank here, but he's losing all of his units. He is going up to that Arbiter tech. I don't think he actually made an Arbiter yet, and he wasn't able to expand at the bottom left, or the top left. So Royal ends up winning anyways, and this was a levels thing. Because in many ways, Dewalt outplayed him, right? Like, if you give, like, after the break here, like, after Dewalt broke the initial push, if you give over control of Dewalt's position to any player, like a ASL regular type guy, like a Bisu, a Best, a Snow, well, obviously Snow, you know, anything like that, I think Royal loses almost every time. Like, maybe he pulls some out, but he's going to lose a lot of the time. So, like, this was definitely like, okay, Royal's a better player than Dewalt, and he ended up winning. But Dewalt got himself into a great spot. This was a great game. This had a lot of really interesting things going on. The faster expansion, the 1 factory mine speed armory, you know, the 7 factory on 2 base, 55 SCVs into a 3rd while attacking. The zoning he did here to make this his 4th. There were a lot of really awesome things going on. On Dewalt's side, and of course the little dropship punish, which is good. On Dewalt's side, he really identified really quickly what he needed to do and got up to the 10 gates. I think it maybe started at 9 and then went to 10, but like he got up to the gateways. He controlled pretty well in the fight and smashed the first army. I loved this game. I loved this game. Very exciting to see Dewalt playing so well. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy this even a fraction as much as I did. Please do subscribe to the channel if you like it, and we'll see you next time.